Good afternoon and welcome to a great event. We're here to celebrate the completion of a beautiful project done in collaboration with our partners at the New York Botanical Garden and with help from many others. So thank you for being here today. I'm Carter Strickland, Commissioner of the New York City Department of Environmental Protection. I'm here with Gregory Long, Chief Executive Officer of the New York Botanic Garden, Tom Lucania from the Bronx Borough President's Office, and Fernando Tirado from Community Board 7. I'm pleased that you could join us today. We celebrate the completion of a fantastic project. It's really a win-win-win where we are addressing flooding, improving the environment in terms of reducing pollution to the Bronx River, and creating a beautiful area for birders and plants. It's the first of its kind here in the Bronx, and it shows that we're able to bring some very successful techniques that we've used in the Bluebelt area of Staten Island here in the Bronx. We've also brought it to Queens, and we're going to be bringing it citywide. This particular, what we call Bluebelt or engineered wetland, naturally treats stormwater that would have otherwise ended up in the combined sewer system and has helped alleviate chronic flooding along Southern Boulevard behind me here. In fact, during an hour of heavy rain, this Bluebelt system, and I'll describe it in some detail, is able to handle 350,000 gallons of water, which is a significant amount. It's a successful collaboration. We couldn't have done it without our partners, and it shows how under Mayor Bloomberg's administration we are bringing creative problem solving to bear on many long-standing problems. New York Botanic Garden is located in a combined sewer area, which means that stormwater and sewage flows in the same pipes. That can become surcharged during rain events and overspill into water bodies like the Bronx River, and that is certainly something that the city is trying to control. By installing a Bluebelt at this location, stormwater would be filtered naturally through this wetland and it will never enter the sewer system. So here's what we did, and I think we can start, Greg, if you don't mind. We started on the street, and this, by the way, was a very successful project, both in terms of timing and delivery. It was conceived of less than a year ago. Construction project was only 10 weeks long, and it came in at under $600,000. So it shows you that these natural techniques not only are good for the environment, but good for the pocketbook as well. We installed 4 catch basins along Southern Boulevard to stop the erosion, divert the stormwater from the roadway into the wetland. And then if you see here, as the water comes through that conduit into the property, it goes into this water quality basin that you see behind us here with the fringe planting. The water's kept there. That elevation is at elevation 56, so once the water gets to elevation 58, it will spill over in Upper Twin Lake and thence to Lower Twin Lake. So this is very, it's a wonderful project. We worked with the Botanic Garden on the Botanical Garden on the plantings around here, so that they're all native species. We planted 3,000 native species, and they will obviously grow in over time and become lush like the rest of the Botanical Garden. This demonstrates that by harnessing nature and treating stormwater at the source, we can reduce urban flooding and the discharge of untreated wastewater in a sustainable way. It's part of a larger program the city has under Mayor Bloomberg, who released the New York City Green Infrastructure Plan in 2010. In the last 2 years, we have built projects like this throughout the city. I mentioned Oakland Ravine in Queens as one. We have a number of other projects in Southeast Queens that we are bringing this technology to bear. And of course, we have a long history in Staten Island where we have well over 50 of these best management practices there. For decades, that Bluebelt program in Staten Island has provided ecologically sound and cost-effective stormwater management, and it's an amenity that neighbors like and want in their area, which is something that we are very happy to accommodate. I want to thank the Botanical Garden for working with us on this project and showcasing how the city can, when it puts its mind to it, work together for common sense solutions. I also want to take a moment to thank James Roberts, our Deputy Commissioner for Water and Sewer Operation, his staff including Jim Moran, Dana Gum, Dean Cavallero, and Robert Brahman, who is the director of this particular project, as well as Effie Artizzoni from our Community Affairs Office, who worked for many years to bring this project to fruition. I'd also like to thank the staff of the Botanical Garden, Todd Forrest, Travis Beck, and Joshua Rivera in particular, for shepherding this project through. And now I'd like to introduce Gregory Long, Chief Executive Officer of the New York Botanical Garden.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to this corner of the New York Botanical Garden, where we have a wonderful improvement to share with you this morning. We're thrilled with this new stormwater management program here in the garden. Those of you who live nearby, I see some very familiar faces, know that the Southern Boulevard right here has been flooded for about 120 years. Actually, it's a very old flood, and it kept reappearing every time it rained, and it would stay there for months and months and months. So we're very, very grateful to Commissioner Strickland and all of his colleagues, and also the mayor's office. Mayor Bloomberg's initiatives in this area have been very strong and very positive throughout New York City. And so now Southern Boulevard is dry and fine and well engineered and well organized, and a nicer drive than it ever was before. And so Southern Boulevard's been fixed outside and inside the garden, just here, just behind us, where there's now this very pretty stormwater basin. There used to be kind of a very unhappy puddle of polluted water that would come in off the roadway, and then it would filter into these lakes. There are two lakes here, and then into the Bronx River, which was a very unfortunate situation. But that's now all been repaired. And this part of the garden actually is not generally open to the public because it hasn't been restored yet. You know, the garden is very large, 250 acres. About 200 acres have now been more or less completely restored in the past generation, but we haven't done everything. I was telling the commissioner there's still more to do, and so this project is very good. It's a kind of catalyst pushing us and our colleagues to the restoration of these lakes, both of which will be beautiful landscape here in only a few years, and improving the health of the Bronx River, of course. The Bronx River Restoration Project, which has been a major project here in New York City and also in Westchester County for many years now, for really almost 40 years, I think, is a very, very fine program. And so this is another very positive step, really, in the restoration of the Bronx River overall. So we're very happy that all these innovations which were created in Staten Island have arrived at the Bronx. We're very happy to be part of the Bluebelt project, and I want to thank the commissioner so much and all of his colleagues, because this project was completed in such short order. You have no idea. It was just fantastic. DEP was just here and it was done, and they're all native plants here, native trees, very good wildlife habitat, very appropriate for this part of the garden, and we really couldn't be happier to have been the sort of guinea pig for the Bluebelt moving to the Bronx. So thank you very much, all of you. You really did a great job.
And just in closing, I want to say that this is part of a demonstration of a larger conceptual shift of treating stormwater as a resource rather than a waste, and where we can use it. And what better place to use it than to water plants? And I think as the rest of the country struggles through a drought, we're very fortunate to have water. We need to use it wisely, and this is part of that. We are going to take a walk and I think take a look at some of the features of this area. But before I do, I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is the Bluebelt project going to be expanded to other sites in the Bronx?
We are taking a look at other sites in the Bronx where we can. So Jim, do you want to speak about Van Cortlandt and the other projects?
Right, so as the commissioner said, we are endeavoring to utilize this technology in various places across the city where it makes sense. This location, obviously, and we are looking at opportunities to utilize Van Cortlandt Lake and some of the areas up around Van Cortlandt Park. Again, collaboration with the Department of Parks to take some burden off of the combined system up there. So I think the next big program that we would probably anticipate in the Bronx would probably be targeting Van Cortlandt.
So, it's very opportunistic. We are looking in areas in Queens. It's no surprise that we're bringing it to Queens and the Bronx. These are boroughs where there is some remaining land to be worked with, because it does take some land. It's not something that you could build in the Central Business District in Manhattan, to say the least.
Can you just describe exactly where the name Bluebelt derives from?
Sure. It's a well-known planning phenomena of green belts in many cities, and blue belts just simply reflects the fact that it's a circle of water features that, blue is the color of water. We like to use it where we can to emphasize to people that where we can, put water and build, bring really nature back to what it was at one point, which was wetlands in especially that part of Staten Island. So it's really paying tribute to the water heritage of the spot and the fact that there's going to be standing and moving water in those areas. All right. And if there are no other questions, we'll take a walk.